Hi there, and welcome to Completely Off Topic with Susan Serrao, the podcast where we talk to Calgary-based female artists about them creating their own body of work. Today, I have a wonderful guest who is a stand-up comedian, Gabby Rose. And today, unlike all of the other days, I don't know her. So we're going to get to know Gabby Rose together. Thank you so much for joining.
Of course.
So you're a stand-up comedian in Calgary, and you've been doing this for a few years. But I want to know what your tattoos are about.
Oh, nice. Straight to the point.
You have to describe them because it's a podcast.
Of course. Okay. So this is just called, I didn't get diagnosed with ADHD until I was 26. So before that, I thought that just getting bored with my appearance was like normal and like a routine thing that just humans experienced. So I got all of my tattoos actually within like a couple years. Basically, once I got sick of piercings, I was like, I gotta do something else.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna rip my skin off. So instead of doing that, I just drew on it.
And is that your drawings?
No.
Okay.
I got them, most of them I actually lived in Halifax for about 6 years. And while I was
Halifax.
there, yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so while I was there, I got started with the tattoo journey and then moved back to Alberta. So most of them are from an artist in Halifax, and then few are from Alberta, various Alberta artists and stuff like that. So
How old were you when you got your first one?
I think my first one was this guy here. I got her when I was 18.
It's a globe.
It's a globe, just the world, just a worldly girl.
Down to the world.
I had to wait till my mom said yes. And so when I turned 18, it didn't matter. Screw you, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a tattoo on my arm. Yeah, I tried to hide it for a while, then they just got more and more, and it was harder and harder to hide them. And so now this is me, you know?
Yeah, I got my first tattoo when I was 17. I was in LA dancing with some friends. Like, we danced for the summer.
It's the only place to get tattoos, dancing in LA, really.
Right.
Otherwise, like, what's the point?
It's the story that everybody tells.
Yeah.
We were on Sunset Boulevard. We were actually with, like, we were staying in an apartment, and there were 5 of us, so we called ourselves the Spice Girls, because that was back then, which totally ages me. And we actually met up with these guys in our complex that were mostly from Chicago, one from LA, and they would go and buy us alcohol while we were dancing, and then we would come back. I was the youngest. The oldest was 21. And then we would drink with them for the night, and then we would go next day, like 8 a.m., dance till like 6 p.m., and then drink with them until 6 a.m.
Nice.
And same thing for a while. And so one night we went down to Sunset Boulevard, and we were having a drink, which it's 21 down there. I should not have been able to have a drink. I had one Long Island iced tea, because in the States, it's like all of the alcohol with a splash of Coke. And then we ended up getting tattoos. 2 of my best friends, the 3 of us, went and got tattoos on our ankles. And then when I arrived back at the airport, my brothers like attacked me, and they were like looking all over my body. They're like, where is it? I'm like, what are you even talking about? And they're like, your tattoo. I'm like, how do you know about my tattoo? I literally can wear a sock and cover it up because I never want you to know about it, because Mom and Dad'll freak. And my friend Melanie told her mom, and her mom told my parents at the airport.
Well,
so I had 0.
Your brother's a friggin' snitch.
They're the worst.
That is the worst.
It's terrible.
Man, there's no like code.
No.
My brother that I don't have did that. I'd be so mad.
Oh, do you have a sister?
I do. I have 2 sisters actually.
Oh,
so I have
nice.
I have an older sister. She is a veterinarian.
Ooh, almost a doctor.
I know, it's disgusting. Her fiance is a doctor. It's just
so much
just
medicine.
great. I know, so much medicine. They're so like helpful and rich. It's disgusting. And then my little sister is an art student right now. So much more my speed.
Yeah.
Much more relatable.
And what kind of art?
Visual art. So she is doing a lot of like illustrations and paintings and stuff right now.
Oh, cool.
That are really excellent. Yeah, it's impressive as hell. Both my siblings are very impressive.
And are they here or in Halifax?
Neither.
Oh,
they both live in BC actually.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad's side of the family is all in BC. Both my sisters are there now as well. So they're out in the Kootenays.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're doing fancy stuff, making money, being doctors.
Yeah.
And then there's me.
And there's you don't have to spend much money out there either.
No, I don't. I can bring my dog there, get it fixed for free.
Yeah.
Just a short commute. If I had a child,
It's
I could bring it
choking.
to Nicole, get
It's
a
drive.
right? Yeah. Yeah, just a small commute for
Yeah.
free medicine, you know.
It's true though. My friend, her dog just had surgery on so many things, and it cost her like $4,000.
Yeah, dogs are a trap. Dogs are a capitalist trap.
It's the worst.
My dog is from Texas. She's a Texan mutt.
Sorry, why?
That's a great question. I don't know. I got on this kick one day and I was like, the dogs in Texas, they're oppressed. And so I rescued her from Texas. When I was in Halifax, I rescued a dog from Texas, and I was living in Halifax, but she got delivered to New Brunswick. And then I went to New Brunswick, got her back, took her to Halifax. Then I moved across the country, And this was all during COVID.
Oh, so good
So
for
she's
the
been
dog.
like, she's like a well-traveled, she's a cultured girl.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know
World
how
traveler.
cultured you can be in Texas, but.
Or in a crate.
Or in a cage on a truck, but you know.
On a truck?
Yeah, she came up on a truck.
Holy jeez.
I had to pay shipping and handling.
Oh, man.
The adoption fees were cheap, but shipping and handling of my dog.
This makes me think of like adopting people in Somalia.
It felt similar. I was like, is this a problem? But I also had never met her. Like, I really, honestly, it was a recipe for disaster, but she's great.
Yeah.
I love her. She's just this little thing.
Yeah.
Little muddy thing. Cute. She has a Texan accent. It's really weird.
Oh.
She's like, woof. No, I'm just kidding. She doesn't
Is that a
actually.
Texan
No, I don't know. Woof, y'all.
There we go.
Bark.
Yeah.
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 Bark.
I don't know why that's my Texas
Yeah.
accent.
Yeah. Yeah. That is not Texas. but
No.
Close.
I don't know what that is.
Something to explore later.
Yes, we'll figure it out. Maybe through this podcast
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
find the answers.
Find the answers to mystery accent number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And what were you doing in Halifax?
I was going to school originally, and then I just stayed because I didn't really know what else to do.
Yeah.
And I had a job out there, and I had a partner at the time, and it was fun. But then COVID happened, and I kind of was like, why am I here? Is there any reason? None of my family's here. None of my friends are here. So I moved back to Alberta during COVID. And that was hard.
Yeah.
Trying to move across the country while you can't do anything and
Yeah.
see anyone or do anything.
Yeah.
So I lived there for school and then a year after, and then came back just sometime in COVID times. The 2020 to like 2020 like 2 is just
I was
a
like,
big like
you
block
don't know
of
when you moved.
what. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I just got on a plane at some point and then now I'm here.
Yeah.
It's how it feels, at least.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I actually took my kids across Canada in 2020 because the schools were shut down and all the sports were shut down.
Yeah.
Everything was, and I have 4 sons and we live in a 2-bedroom condo. Luckily we have a yard and stuff, so it's not so bad, but it was like, I'm like, for the health of my children, we
Your
cannot
sanity.
stay here.
Yeah.
And so we got in the car, we put bikes on the back, rollerblades in the back, all seasons of clothing, bag of chips, and out we went. And we
That's
went all the
sweet.
way out to Cape Breton.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they saw Halifax, but they didn't see Halifax the way I saw Halifax, which is like with all the culture and the music and the drinking and,
I was waiting for that one. I was like,
there's a lot of
and
drinking.
The booze. I think it still has the most bars per capita or something
Really?
like that. Oh yeah, it's just insane. There's no reason
That's what
for
you
that.
do.
There's just no reason.
Yeah.
It's just drowning in bars.
Yeah.
Too much. Too much.
Drowning.
I say now. As
Yeah.
18 me was like, woo!
Yeah.
But
You're like judgmental of them
and I'm
now.
like, ugh,
Yeah.
gross.
We live in
Couldn't be me.
Calgary now where there's like only one.
There's like 2.
Yeah.
We're better.
It's got such a great culture and vibe and
Yeah.
the air and the nature and it's just so beautiful.
The water, the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah, it is really beautiful. It really is. But I learned when I was living there why you only see like young students or retired people and no like middle
No
people.
jobs?
Because there's no jobs. So
Oh,
it's
the
hard to
jobs.
enjoy all the beauty when you can't afford gas or food.
Just walk.
Just walk. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. I did do a lot of walking. A lot of walking to downtown and back, and to school and back, and to the grocery store and back, and mostly to downtown and back.
Where the drinks are.
Where the drinks are.
Because
Yeah.
that you can't afford the gas because you
Can't afford the gas, but you can afford a $1 beer at the Split Crow, I think it was.
$1?
Yeah, something like that. Or maybe that was Quebec. I don't know. But they had there was this bar called the Split Crow. I think it's still a thing. And I don't think it was $1, but it was something real cheap.
Yeah.
Like $2 beers or something like that. So you just get like a saucer of beers.
Can I have a tray of beer?
Can I please have your largest tray of beer?
Oh, yeah.
And they would. They just
Or
be like,
the
here you
big
go, ma'am.
ones that are like on the
Oh
shoulders.
yeah. Like
the party tray of beer.
Two people have to carry that tray of beer to you, and there's like 3 of you, and there's
They
like
just put it on
18
your
beer. And you're
table.
like, we're gonna die tonight. That's what it looked like.
Oh, well, it'd be cheap. A cheap death.
Cheap death.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go, might as well drown in $1 beers
Oh, yeah.
at the Split Crow.
Yeah.
You know,
Instead of debt.
instead of debt.
Right.
Right.
I think that's the way we should all go.
Be responsible and drink beer.
I used to work on a cruise ship, and in the crew bar, it was dollar drinks. And so I think it is not safe.
Would die.
We used
Younger
to,
me would have died.
I think I should have many times.
Yeah.
We used to finish our show, and then we wouldn't even like shower change. We'd go down to the crew bar. I would have 10 black Russians
It's too many Russians.
It's a lot. It's a lot of Russians. I would have 10 black Russians, and then we'd be like,
what's a black Russian?
it's vodka, Kahlua, and Coke. Oh, milk, Coke. Black Russian's a Coke.
White Russian is
White
the
Russian's
milk
the
one.
milk. Yeah.
How do those have the same name? One is dairy based and one is Coca-Cola based. That's insane.
Kahlua and vodka. That's how.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, that's why it's white and black.
Huh.
So I used to have 10 of them, and then
So I had 10. I'm just gonna adjust my
$10.
feet.
There
Don't
we go.
judge me.
Yeah, and then Did you? Can we cut? She just adjusted her feet. So we used to drink 10 black Russians, and then we'd be like, should we go out tonight or not? And then
You're like, so I've only had 10. I
this
don't
is
know.
like, this might come down from the show.
Yeah.
And then it's like, are we going out? And then if we were going out, we'd get a couple drinks to bring down to our shower. You'd have your drinks in the shower.
Shower
This is a
beers,
sign
man.
that it's bad.
You gotta have shower beers.
And I didn't drink beer because I drank too much beer as a teenager.
Shower
that
Russians.
it grossed me out. Grossed.
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 I got grossed out when I was on 10 black Russians in the shower.
It's bad.
Yeah.
There's an accent and everything. And then we would like put on wigs because we didn't want to wash our hair. We'd have a body shower, put on a wig, and then go to the disco and dance and drink.
Wow.
And then we'd go for pizza or ice cream, just to, absorb it all.
Yeah, just to really
Balance.
soak it back up.
You gotta
yeah.
balance out your lifestyle.
There was this place also in Halifax. Again, I'm talking about Halifax like this is like a place that is like no longer real. It's real. People live there still.
Back in
Hello,
Halifax.
Halifax. Welcome. It's still real. Halifax is still standing.
Even after
And
COVID.
I don't know what I was gonna say. Pizza Corner. You gotta absorb the White Russians. So dollar beers too. And there was this place like at the end of downtown, like close to where most of the students lived.
Yeah.
Called Pizza Corner.
Pizza Corner.
And so
Classic.
yeah, you go and you grab your pizza on the corner.
And
you
did they have
just
corner
shove it down.
pizzas? It'd be smart.
That would be smart.
It'd be smart.
But tell me, every pizza is a corner piece
Is
because it's
it?
a circle.
It's round.
Yeah, but the peak little tip at the middle is at the corner. You know when you
I
have
guess it could be like a squishy corner then.
yeah.
It's like,
I guess you just have to make square pizzas and then only eat the corners.
yeah, like Chicago
And then
deep
just like
dish, a full
toss the
piece.
rest. Yeah.
That's what they should do.
You know what's sad? There was a cat. There was a cat. I just remembered this. This is breaking news. There was a cat that would always walk the streets of our school. I went to school at St. Mary's in
Walk the
Halifax.
streets of
the
our
streets,
school.
Walk the streets of the school. And he wasn't owned by anyone at the university. He just lived like across the street. And his name was Carlton. And he would walk around the streets of the school.
How did you
Carlton
know
the
his
cat.
name?
Because he was famous,
A
first of
legend,
all. He
yeah.
was a goddamn legend.
Yeah.
And he had like a little cat tag that looked like a university ID with his little name.
Aw.
Walked around. And he'd always be like sitting on the podiums and like teaching classes and stuff. Anyway, he died. He is dead. And that actually made me so sad. I haven't like talked to or thought about this cat in like
Oh,
6
no.
years. But I saw he died and it's really sad. And
So this is recent.
this is real. He died like 4 days ago.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I'm laughing
I
because
know.
I'm just like the
it's-
absurdity of you talking
I know
about this.
you didn't think he was going to die at the end.
I
but
didn't.
He died.
And so suddenly I just got to
He
know him.
died of cancer.
Ah.
Like cruel. Also,
How did
don't
they
tell
know?
us that.
How did they know he died of cancer?
So the owner of Carlton had an Instagram page and like posted about his death and
Oh.
told us that he died of cancer. And I was like, we don't need to know this.
No.
Anyway, they're going to make a statue of Carlton just sitting like, meow.
This is a lot
I
to
know.
absorb. This is
Anyway.
like, I need some pizza.
Halifax is a great place. They got dead cats. They got pizza. Really cheap
I'm
beers.
sure more than one dead cat.
Yeah, tons of rats. They got hella rats. out there.
Rats?
Oh yeah, they come
Oh.
off the boats and they just mess with your life.
We don't have that in
Yeah, no.
Alberta. Yeah. It's the saving grace of
Yeah.
Alberta.
Our one thing is like we may suck in some ways, but we got no rats. Not a single rat.
We also have no PST. No
Oh,
provincial
true.
sales tax.
Holy Lord. Yeah,
Two
going
things.
shopping, you'd be like, oh, this shoe is $10. And then you have to add like, what is it? Like,
$18.
no shoe is $10. Let's be real.
Maybe one shoe.
Yeah, no, literally one shoe. Half of
We
a
have
child's
sale.
shoe. Yeah.
My
Too
friend's
high.
coming in from Quebec here next week, and I'm like, let's go shopping. You can spend so much less money because I'm old and I think about taxes.
Yeah, the price of things that you see on the paper is actually the price you pay.
Yes.
Lesser, a few cents.
Yeah.
But
And are you born in Calgary? Like born and raised in Calgary?
Yeah.
Okay. Which
I was born in
neighborhood?
Calgary. Sorry?
Which neighborhood?
Was I born in?
Or lived in?
Oh yeah, I was so aggressive. Like, What neighborhood did I get birthed in?
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm a hospital maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I was born in a hospital, the Foothills Hospital to be exact.
Okay.
And I grew up in Cambrian Heights, kind of like Mount Pleasant.
Oh, my kids go to
area.
school up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before it got all gentrified. And it
Yes.
was like shacks. That's when I lived there. Not the fancy,
The good old times.
the big, tall, fancy houses. I did live in those. Just the small ones that they demolished like 5 years ago. Those
Right.
were- yeah.
There was a lot of change there.
So much.
Yeah.
They put in that fancy like wooden playground, and then I was like, "We're done. It's gonna be
What?
over so
In a
soon."
playground?
I was like, wooden logs as childhood fun apparatuses. That's some rich people stuff. That's not for me.
But I actually was of the era when the playgrounds were made of wood and tires.
Yeah, I was of the era when the playground was a tree. You just climbed trees. And now they're like, well, let's chop the trees down, just
Yes.
sand them, and then lay
Yes.
them horizontal, and that'll be more
Amazing.
fun, I guess.
Yes.
I was like, give us the old-fashioned, give me a friggin'
I want a
branch.
vertical tree.
Give me a branch and some bark and some
Yeah.
footholds, and then I'm good.
Footholds. Lucky.
Footholds.
Back in my day, we didn't have footholds.
Back in my day, we didn't have feet. We just had nubs at the end of sticks.
My God.
It's a hard life.
It was hard.
It was a rough childhood.
Back
No
then
feet.
in Cambrian
No
Heights.
trees and no feet, just
Did you get your
flopping around.
feet while you were in Halifax
Yeah.
then?
I bought them at the store for $10.
$10 plus
They came
tax.
with the shoes plus tax. They were like
Jeez.
$100 actually.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids are actually like they, if you go to a playground, they're almost always up in a tree.
You got to go up the tree.
Yeah.
Just like my mom says, kids don't eat enough dirt these days.
No, we eat dirt because I buy organic food.
We eat dirt because the grocery store people wash it bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
My mom was talking about like iPad kids and how teaching this generation of kids is like significantly more
she's a
challenging.
teacher?
She's a teacher, yeah,
Okay.
kindergarten teacher. And she was talking about how like kids are just, all the kids coming out of COVID too, like there's obviously
brutal.
challenges there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how there's like iPad parents raising iPad kids, and it's just like a whole mess. And then she always says this thing where it's like kids don't eat enough dirt. If kids just ate more dirt, it would solve so many of their problems. They'd have these great immune systems. They'd be out in nature doing things. So
Yeah. Well, there are
more dirt.
there are preschools and kindergartens that are actually outdoor schools in Calgary.
Good.
There's some pretty cool ones. And my
like fully. What do they do in like December?
Yeah, outside. You wear a snowsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Builds character.
Yeah, it's like actually what humans used to
Yes.
do. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
We were kind of meant for that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to my grandma is 99. And she always kind of, when I visit her now, she talks back to back to her childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so she lived between Didsbury and Sundre. I always say Sudbury, and that's a different province.
Sudbury?
Yeah.
Is that an actual place?
Yeah, it's in Ontario.
Oh.
Yeah. But it was not between, north of Calgary and Ontario.
Yeah. It's a
right
big-
between
it's a
there.
Big range.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was between Sundre and Didsbury, and she was one of 7 kids that lived on a farm, and she used to wrap her feet in newspaper while they rode. The 3 of them, her 2 brothers and her, would ride a horse into town, and there was a 1-room school that she was paid $1 a month to go
Holy.
in and start the furnace, and then she would go upstairs and cry while sitting on the grate until it started heating up the room. And that's what she did before school started, where it was like all 12 grades in 1 room.
There are so many details of that story that I find confusing.
I made it all up.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm just kidding. It's
I
so
was
true.
like- I
It's
was like-
totally true. It is actually
The
true.
newspaper and the tears, are they related? Did
Probably.
she have to cry to start the furnace?
Oh, I wonder.
Would
What
it
if that
only
was like
start with
magic?
the tears of a... Was this the teacher or a child attending?
That was child. She was a
Oh,
child, a
so
student
the furnace-
attending.
They like went
And
to
it's
the school
terrifying.
and they were
You're in
like, the furnace will only start with the tears of a child. And she's
me
like,
the
I'll do
tears.
it.
Give it
The
to
tears of a child wrapped in newspaper.
Wraps. Just the child. Are you picturing the whole child, like the whole child wrapped in newspaper? Or
In that instance, I was. But if you're wrapping the feet, you might as well wrap the whole kid.
it's just the feet.
Just with feet.
It's just the feet because you're worried
'cause
about
no
the
shoes?
toes and the frostbite.
So she didn't have shoes.
She had shoes, but you still have to wrap them because it's just so thin.
I thought this was a shoe alternative.
No.
Okay, so it's like put the shoe on,
Boots
wrap
on.
the shoe in newspaper.
Probably even wore socks. I think they had socks. They darned them.
They had socks.
They darned them. Yeah.
They what's it called when you poke something till it becomes something?
Oh.
Felting?
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not a scientist.
Oh.
Felting. Shoes? Socks?
A sister who's crafty. I'm kidding. She's
Yeah,
an
she's
artist.
an artist. I am neither an artist nor crafty. I
Well,
am.
you are.
Oh.
Because you're a comedian.
That's true.
That's art.
So true.
Yeah.
It is art. It's
And you draw on your arms.
I do.
Well, you
I
don't,
get someone
but-
else to draw my arms, and therefore it's their art and my art. 'Cause
Yes.
it's on my skin.
You're like, I approve of this.
Hopefully, otherwise I'd be screwed.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
that's probably just Halifax drunk.
Yeah. I got most of these when I was drunk at the. Yeah, no. Actually, I've never gotten a drunk tattoo before.
That's smart.
Yeah. I'm too afraid of death.
I liked the drunk tattoo.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel very much.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you bleed like crazy, apparently.
Apparently I did.
Yeah. You're like, and I did. But
I have a lot,
I was
and
too
it's
drunk to
renewable.
care. Yeah. We got so much blood inside of us. It's
Yeah.
like, what's a little
It's a
spilled
lot.
blood? You know?
Yeah. It wasn't a car accident. It was just like a little bit of
Just a little-
needling.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
is the tattoo?
Oh, it's like it's a Chinese symbol because back then that was
yes.
super cool. And it means friend.
Aw,
Yeah. I got
cute.
two best friends.
Is that your
got it.
only tattoo?
It is.
Wow.
I've wanted to get one since. Like I've wanted some, but I just haven't done it. And I kind of want to do it with a friend. Like I don't know.
Let's do it. Let me know. I got some space.
Oh.
I'll get.
Can I pick your tattoo?
I'm getting my best friend's boyfriend's full legal name tattooed on me.
Why?
No reason. He just said, "Would you do this?"
What is
and
his
I said,
name?
Eric Henry Dahl.
Well, it's kind of a fun name.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I don't know where yet. He's gonna pay for it. I don't even remember why. Like, I think there was a reason, and now I think actually no. I think the reason was just, "Hey, Gabby, would you do this?" And I'm a rascal, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah.
And so, but now they can't break up. Like, they have to get married. They have to get married for me now.
So you are now making them get married unhappy and have maybe
they're very
children's.
happy.
Okay.
They're very happy.
Maybe children's.
Well, I think it's more of like I'm gonna be a part of their marriage forever too. Like now it's like, you can't get rid of me. I got your husband's name tattooed on my arm.
This is not weird.
Yeah. So I'll get just maybe this arm will just be my name arm.
And so you're gonna have to explain this to. Do you have a partner right now?
Yeah.
Okay. And they're okay with this.
I don't actually know if she knows,
Yeah.
but she will soon.
Oh my
No,
goodness.
she'd support it. She'd probably get it too.
But you now can't ever break up with her because you're gonna have to explain this to everybody you ever meet
Yeah.
in the future.
They'll be like,
So now you're
"What
stuck
is
in a
a
relationship.
homosexual woman doing walking around with a dude's name tattooed fully on your arm?" And I'd be like, "Why not?"
You could always degrade it later.
Yeah, I could make up some crazy story about him too. Like,
killed my-
this is the man
he
that
killed my cat.
family, killed my Texan dog.
Yeah.
Now I just have it on me in remembrance
Yeah.
of the murder of my loved ones.
I always remember my Texas dog
My Texas.
because this was the best part of them.
Yeah, her death. Oh, poor dog.
Yeah.
I'm happy she doesn't have the ability to watch things.
Oh,
She'll
isn't
never
that
know.
nice?
Talking about her demise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, pets.
Pets.
They forgive so easily.
Yeah, she has forgiven me of a lot.
Yeah.
She was my first dog, so it was really just a try. And then she's
that's
all messed up
huge.
because she's from Texas and she's got all these problems.
Yeah.
Like, she hates men, which works really well for me.
That's perfect.
Because, like, who doesn't? No, I'm just kidding. But I'm not around dudes often.
Except Eric.
Except Eric.
You're lying to me.
No, I'm serious.
Because I do stand up as well,
Mm-hmm.
and it is just men most nights.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, you are surrounded by men.
There are dudes just all over the place.
Everywhere.
Just walking around.
everywhere. Even the audience is mostly dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I posted a YouTube video recently, actually, and I looked at, like, the analytics, like the demographic, whatever differences. And it was like 92% of my watchers were men and 8% were women. And I was like, this is mean. Where are the ladies? Please watch my videos.
Just need to market it differently.
I know.
Because they're thinking that you're like these
Yeah, I
stand-ups
mean,
are typically crude towards women.
Yeah, and the bit was about men's prostates. So I think that's partially why.
I really want to learn more about this.
And then the comments were all like, "You're just joking about men's prostates? Well, it's serious." I'm like, okay.
I'm sorry.
Awesome.
Let's comment on every male comic
well,
ever about
you
the
talked
women.
you talked men's serious issues. And I was like, I'm a woman. I'm a gay woman in Alberta. You really want to come at me with this right now, really? We're going to have a who has it worse off?
Yeah.
Because I will win.
Yeah.
Sorry that your butt's got stuff in it, but...
Oh, everybody's butt's got stuff
Everyone's
in it,
butt
to
got
be
stuff in it,
honest.
yeah.
Unless you really just cleaned that out.
But you need the stuff. There's some stuff in there you need, you know?
Yeah.
Like the prostate. Important
For men.
for men.
Yes.
Health,
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yes. Have fun with it.
Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Lord's put it in there for a reason.
Yes, and it feels
It's
good for a
irresponsible
reason.
not to address it.
Yeah, enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's a gift women don't have.
That's a gift, yeah.
I mean, we get childbirth.
However are we going to live without it, you know? We get the blessings of childbirth and menstruation.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
Lucky us.
Go us.
So much pleasure.
Life is so easy and pain-free.
And so you came back to Alberta for just family or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
not just family. That's
just
a big
family.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, my dad got sick, and we were kind of like on the how bad is it type thing, and my mom wasn't being that communicative with us because she was dealing with it at the time. So I came home because I was like, I could probably just see what's going on.
Yeah.
And then he ended up being fine, one limb less than he originally had, but he was fine.
Yeah.
And then my partner and I in Halifax broke up, and then I got a job offer in Edmonton, and I was like, why?
Ew, Edmonton.
Yeah,
Gross.
I did that for a year. It was
okay.
It was fine.
It's a good community up there.
Yeah.
Good community.
Yeah, excellent comedy community.
Yes.
And that's where I started stand-up. And
Okay.
it was, I'm so grateful that I started comedy in Edmonton. Love Calgary and love like doing comedy in Calgary, but Edmonton is it's a very saturated comedy scene, but that means that there's so many really amazing comics and so many really good shows.
Yeah.
So you're always going to be up against like a lot of really, really great comics, and that just makes you better.
Yeah, you learn
So
from them.
I'm so happy that I started there. And I still work out of Edmonton. Like my day job's still based in Edmonton, so I have to go up there every so often for
that's great.
for normal work. And so I try and do shows out there still because it's just so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have good festivals up there.
Yeah, like they have a booming art scene for some reason. I don't know exactly like why.
Yeah.
They're like, you guys don't have Chinooks, so you need something.
Yeah. Make me laugh.
Yeah.
This is terrible and unbearable.
Yeah,
winter.
yeah. I'm so cold, please. Please. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Edmonton, when I was growing up, got all of the money for culture. They got all the money for any kind of culture funding. And Calgary there was no culture here.
Yeah.
It was all like oil and gas. And oil and gas wasn't even, it was big, but it was like, that was it. And downtown was like nothing. I remember you went downtown almost for no reason. Like no one lived downtown.
Yeah.
So like totally has shifted and been so much better. And our mural art is so much better than it was. But I feel like that's why their art scene is so good.
Yeah.
Ours has like gotten so much better than it
Yeah,
used
it's
to be.
definitely coming up. Like I feel like every year that passes, it's just there's more and more stuff going on, which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only lived in Edmonton for like a year.
Yeah, that's enough.
It's enough. I was like, this is perfect, great, it looks great.
Yeah, I'm so
seen it.
mean. Like honestly, I meet people from Edmonton and I'm like, ugh, like grossed out. Actually, my son who's 9 years old, we were at like their team photos and there was a hockey stick left behind. I took a picture of it, sent it on Team Snap, said, hey, is this anybody's stick? And one of the moms was like, oh my God, that's our son's stick. I'm like, I'll bring it to the game tomorrow, no problem. And then I told the coach, I'm like, I'm going to bring this for the kid. And he's like, oh yeah, that's definitely his, the Oilers tape. And I looked at him like, Oilers tape? I'm like, well, that's got to go.
Yeah.
So
yes!
I did. I ripped off the tape, the Oilers tape, and I retaped it. We were going to tape it with flames, but I was like, well, I don't want the kid to hate his stick. So we just taped it black.
Yeah.
We waxed it up. It's all nice. And then at the change room, I walk in. I'm like, hey, bud, here's your stick. Sorry, we're not allowed, like Oilers aren't allowed in our house. So we had to take that off before we brought it in, but it's really good. Like this is gonna be way better. And his dad's the coach and he's like, what do you say? And he's like, thank you so much. And then
His little fists were like, thank you.
He was so mad.
So much.
He was so mad. And then he got 2 goals and an assist. I'm like, it's the tape, buddy.
It's the tape.
It's the tape.
Yeah.
And then the coach that knew I was doing that was just dying. He thought it was so funny. But I do, every time I meet somebody from Edmonton, I'm like, gah, like, ugh.
Why do you say gross?
And then I love it up there and I enjoy the
That's
people.
the
They're
thing.
lovely.
It's like I only literally lived in Edmonton for like 1 calendar year, like 12 months. And like the friends I met there are like my best friends to this day. And I'm like,
so
I
great.
hate the place you live. Yeah. I don't at all. I feel like you have to do it. It's like this
to.
lifelong bit that if you don't like engage in it, you're like a loser.
Yeah.
So
you aren't
gotta hate
Calgarian.
them, at least a bit.
You would say Calgary if you like Edmonton.
Calgary.
Oh God.
Blah, blah, blah.
Calgary.
Calgary.
No, you're not from here.
No.
Go home.
Go home.
Just
Go
kidding.
back to Edmonton, you giant loser.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Northern
Get out of
Alberta.
here. Right?
Yeah,
Accent.
that's how they talk.
Yes. There actually was that.
And Texan, New Jersey
New
accent.
Jersey is New Jersey. Get out. Don't. It's embarrassing. Get out of here.
Did you study accents
No.
in school?
I am not an impressionist. Very bad. My girlfriend's trying to convince me to do a Shakira bit with a Shakira. No,
Yeah.
I'm not that good. She just.
That's pretty good.
Have you ever heard a Shakira say that?
She sings like that.
Yeah, something like anyway.
She does.
I know, except I haven't got the words thing down.
Right.
I just have that weird like throat area like thing.
You could do a conversation or an interview as her and do that constantly.
Shakira interviews?
Yes.
Yeah, her and I actually look identical too. So we look
Just shake it?
Exactly
You just have to
the same.
shake it a little? Yeah.
We have the exact same level of hip mobility, so it's perfect.
Amazing. So you're a Latina.
Yeah.
Latina,
Yeah,
Albertan.
my hips don't lie.
There's nothing going
There's
on here.
nothing. They're not talking, so you can't lie if you don't say anything.
Yeah. I remember when her and J-Lo did that Super Bowl thing.
Ugh.
I saw, so I'm part of like a lot of mom groups.
I swear to God, cured
Unbelievable.
heterosexuality. Literally all women were just like,
Yes.
men who?
Yeah. Oh, they were incredible.
They were just...
And they're in their 50s, right?
Yeah.
So then I saw on like Facebook this one woman that I know through, I used to sell educational toys. So I have like a big
Educational
base.
Toys.
It was actually.
Educational
I didn't do the
toys.
passion parties. I didn't get in that. I was Discovery Toys. Anyhow.
Same thing.
Some of them can be. No, I'm just kidding. But anyhow.
Anything's a discovery toy if you discover something with it, really.
And I think you can. They're open-ended, right?
Yeah.
Open-ended play.
Double-ended sometimes.
You know what? That's even better. Quadruple, multiple-ended.
Discovery time with friends.
Yeah, so many endings
Yeah.
happening with this toy. Anyhow, one of the moms went on there and was like, oh, great. So now we have to live up to that. And I was like, oh my God, that is not at all what just happened. Like that is incredible that these women are so incredibly talented and gorgeous and out there giving it. And that we have the capability to do that. Everybody does. Like, they just are doing it.
Yeah.
So, man.
Everyone does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone. And if they aren't, I am so sorry.
Sorry for your loss.
So sorry for your loss.
I'm so sorry.
And your wasted life. No, I'm just
Your
kidding.
useless existence.
What are you even doing here?
What are you good for, even?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, are you going to have kids? Just kidding.
I'm not even an adult yet. I'm at that age where I'm that age. I'm at that age. I'm 26. And I'm still like, it feels like teen pregnancy. Like, I have friends that have babies that are pregnant. They're like, woohoo. And I'm like, still don't even, I'm like, do I have to ask the question, like, are we happy? Are we sad? Like,
do we want this?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, actually we're at the age where it's probably on purpose.
Yeah, I had my first at 26.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel good. Yeah.
And I was early. I was very early for my friends.
Yeah.
So like when I went to preschool, like you become friends with, I don't think you have to have kids. This is just me joking about the fact that we're women and so we have to have kids.
That's actually the reason you're here.
Yeah, I'm here actually from the Alberta party, Take Alberta Back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get women back in the households.
Women for breeding.
Yes.
Women are breeders.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you don't need a
TM,
career.
That's it. Don't even educate yourself.
No.
Stop going to school and breed.
It's a waste of resources.
Open your legs and shut your eyes and close your mind.
Yeah.
Breed.
And if you can breathe through that, breathe through it.
Breathe and breed.
Breathe and breed.
Breeding
Ba-ba-ba.
and breathing.
Yeah.
The 3 Bs. Be better, breed, and breathe.
That's 4.
Shut up.
Be better.
I'm a comedian, not a scientist. My favorite thing is just whenever I don't know anything or I'm just spewing absolute caca. I'm trying not to swear.
Caca.
I just...
That's Texas.
That's what they call it in Texas. My dog told me.
Yes. He's like, no, caca.
Yeah, caca. Caca.
Caca.
Like a bird.
And as
Caca.
he's doing, he's like, caca.
Caca.
Sorry,
yeah.
you're a scientist.
Yeah, what was I a scientist about?
Because you said every time you speak caca, you just
Every time I talk caca, yeah, I don't know, guys, listen.
You were going to say, then I just say, I'm not a scientist.
Oh, I say it about everything. If I'm just talking nonsense, caca, if you will, if I just say I'm not a scientist, it absolves me of all guilt, or of all responsibility.
Totally.
If someone's like, is that true? I'm like, I don't know, I'm not a scientist. Then they just are like, oh.
Yeah. And then
why am I asking this woman? She's not even a scientist. She's just a mere woman here to breed.
Zero credits.
Yeah.
Zero education. Yes.
Yeah, no.
Just no qualifications.
Yeah.
A couple holes.
A couple holes and
a few
womb.
holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few in there.
Several.
I have extra.
I got some bonus holes.
I got some added.
I got these two, these ones,
Yeah.
couple down there,
Yeah.
just holes.
Yeah.
One in the middle even.
Oh my God.
Ugh.
You're going to make everyone jealous. Gabby and her holes.
Gabby and her holes. That'll be the name of my first album. Gabby and her holes, and it'll be all about not breeding.
Yes. And so you don't have an album yet.
I don't, no.
And when are you going to get your album?
But right after I breed. No, that's a great question. I feel like as soon as I have enough material that I feel comfortable kind of, I know that you don't have to like kind of, what's it called when you put something in a box and like don't open it for many years?
Pandora?
No, it's like a time capsule. Like, close. I feel like
I
don't want to have to put my jokes in a time capsule and kind of like, I feel like when you put out an album, you kind of have to like partially retire a lot of that. Just kind of like, because it's out there. For
Or
people
you
to
now
consume.
tour it, because that's like John Mulaney.
That's true.
It's like recorded and
That
then he
is
goes
true,
around
yeah.
and tours it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like as soon as I have the time and I'm really comfortable with, like, if I have an album's worth of stuff and I really, really feel good about it, then I'll just do it right away. I'm all for, like, no timeline. Like, there's no... I feel like people that have been in comedy for a very long time, especially, like, old men that have been in comedy for a long time, have these weird, like, unspoken rules where it's like, you have to do things at this pace, otherwise you're, like, doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's 8 people on the show all doing the same dick joke. I think I'm fine.
Yeah.
I think I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I think that as soon as I just have enough to do it, I will.
So it's like an hour you want, or?
Yeah, probably like 45 minutes to an hour of like really like a really solid, tight, very like cohesive 45 minutes an hour. And then I'll start looking at what an album will look like for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, so hopefully like, actually it's November now, right?
Yes.
So I've only been doing comedy for 2 years. It's my...
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, so as of this month, it's been 2 full years, so...
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's why we had you on today.
Yes, you knew.
I did my research.
Yeah, it's like Gabby Rose started
Yeah.
in November 2021. Yep. So I feel like maybe in a year or two, I'll be at a place where, like, I feel like right now, I'm not too far away from that, but there's a difference between, like, having 45 minutes in an hour versus having, like, a...
Solid.
Special kind of amount of like something that cohesive. So
Yeah.
soon.
And what's your set at right now?
I have a very, very solid half hour.
Nice.
If I was asked to do 40 minutes, 45 minutes, I could.
Yeah.
I think I would need to do just some workshopping of like stuff that I haven't told in a while or new stuff that I wouldn't quite do on a paid show type thing.
Yeah.
But a very solid, very confident half hour.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And okay, so why I had you on is because I did my absolute first set ever and you were there.
Yeah.
And I was like, no one laughed. Like there was some laughter, but I think it was like, I've done that room again since. I do not do well in that room. It's just very male, very male. And they're looking at me going, can we laugh at that? I don't know. So anyhow, which is probably also just me, like in my material. But then you were like, hey, that was great. Go do this place, go talk to this person, go talk to this person. And I was just like blown away by how generous you were in those moments and like how helpful. And I was like, oh, okay. There's people that are like supportive and are going to help and are just going to be like, hey, yeah, bye. Like whatever, woman or something like this.
Peasant woman.
Yeah, woman.
Simple woman. Yeah.
I think you're funny. Come on. And then I went off to do Laugh Loft and I had literally that Sunday. So it would have been Thursday to Sunday, did the same thing and it like killed. And I was like, oh, okay, this feels so much better.
Yeah.
Like it killed for a first 5 kind of thing,
Yeah.
like, you know? And then it just kind of went from there. And I've met so many amazing women in Calgary that are like very supportive. And I mean, I don't know the dynamics very well because I don't ever have time to go hang out with anybody after.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So I don't know like what the dynamics are with everybody. I just know the men are super tight. They seem like they're really connected. But it's like, it's been I've only done it for 6 months and it's been just a great learning for how to like, also like the mental, like when I show up and I'm like, I don't know. And then I kill, like, it's just terrible. And then other times I show up and I'm like, hey, this is you got something to say. It's worth saying. And I psych myself up and I'm like, I know how to be on stage. Done this forever.
Yeah.
And then I get up there and I do it. Then it's like so much fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think that you commented on something that's like very interesting about comedy and that's that different rooms are so different.
Yeah.
And it's really important to do very, very different rooms because that's what makes you very, what's it called? When
versatile?
Versatile. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know words.
I'm not a scientist.
I'm not a scientist, but I know words.
Yeah.
And versatile is one of them. But it makes you versatile because if you can only do well with one type of audience, then you're not giving yourself the opportunity to be like as good as you can be. So doing like, very, like the comedy cave and then laugh loft, like those are probably like almost polar opposite type of audiences.
Yeah.
But if you're able to do both confidently, like you're gonna be so much more skilled than you would be, because there's a lot of people that refuse to do certain rooms, or like I only like to do these type of rooms or those type of rooms, and those people are like gonna be good, but you're limiting yourself and you're not allowing yourself to be very like adaptable and stuff like that. And small town Alberta shows are like the best place for that. I've gone to it like the first couple shows I did, and like I did a show in like Camrose, and I was like, these people are gonna hate me. And they did it. Yeah. And then the more I did smaller towns with like lots of like blue collar redneck dudes, and I kind of learned how to like.
Well, you also grew up in Calgary.
Yeah, so I do. Yeah, so it's not like I'm wildly unfamiliar with these people. Yeah. But now I'm at a point where I actually love performing for like rough and tough men of
when you can crack them, it's like so satisfying.
Yeah. And I feel like too, a lot of folks of that community have a very kind of like limited understanding or exposure to female comedy. Yeah. And we're thinking, it's not for me. Yeah. So if you can make it for them and be like, you're gonna like my stuff. Yeah. Because I'm funny. Yeah. And I happen to have a womb. Yeah. But you're gonna like it. And then getting them on your side, so fun and very like satisfying. Totally. You're like, see? Yeah. Now you like me. Now we're friends. Totally. Yeah. It's so true, because I will say, just as a disclaimer, I have a lot of amazing male comedian friends, and they're so funny, and they're not the worst. Yeah. And there's so many men in comedy that are amazing, and they're great, and they're so funny, and they're fresh, and they have different voices and different perspectives.
And those ones are like so fun to watch.
Yeah, and they're awesome, and they do stuff different, and they're cool, and they have a fresh perspective. My thing is that like I think the reason why showrunners, producers they should want to have a very diverse lineup of comics, women, people of color, like different backgrounds, all that. Yeah. Is because everyone's going to be coming at the world at a completely unique perspective. Yeah. But if you have like 68 white dudes on the same show, all coming, like, you're living in a world that was created for you. Yeah. Everything around you is made for you. Yeah. If you have like BIPOC comics, female comics, queer comics, they're in a world that is not created for them. So there's a lot of humor in that. Yeah, and they're interacting with the world and trying to make do with just what's around them and trying to survive, and that is funny. That's what makes stuff like very, very easily unique, I think. So like, I feel like when producers are like, oh, well, we need a woman for the shows. Like, for the success of your show, you want to have people that have a bunch of different things to say. Yeah. That's going to make the show better. Yeah. What are you like excited about? This is not going to play in front of anybody for like a year, so don't get too excited that this is going to promote you. Yeah. But what are some things you're excited to try or excited to do? I need to start putting more time and effort into getting my face in front of like clubs, like Yuck Yucks and Laugh Shop and stuff like that. Yeah. A lot of getting space on those shows is just kind of showing up and hanging around. Yes. And that it takes a lot for me to do that, because I'm like, I'm a busy girl. But I do understand that that's kind of just like what you have to do. So that's something that I'm going to be trying to focus on more. I want to submit to festivals and stuff coming up. And I'm just hoping to just do more, like get to the next platform, which is I would like to be able to middle at pro clubs over like on weekends. Yeah. I want to travel around Canada a bit more. I'd love to go like back to the East and do more in like Vancouver and stuff like that. I actually just got asked to do the Don't Tell comedy show on. This won't air in time, so it's not a secret. But the Don't Tell comedy show, it's like an American-based show, but there's a few in Canada. Okay. And there's one in Calgary, and so I get to do that this week, and I'm really excited because it's not just like a local show that some Calgary comics producing. It's like a big show that's American-based that they are touring around. Amazing. So, so I'm excited to do that and just get some more, credits, do more, like, I'd love to get Just for Laughs new faces, stuff like that. Yeah. So.
Amazing.
Fingers crossed. keep on keeping on, and hopefully that will become a reality, putting it in the universe. So.
Well, I see you're working a ton, so it's going to happen.
Yeah, I am working a ton. So I hope that that's where it leads. That would be very excellent. I think that I'm in a good place to get there, so I'm hoping that I'm not, disillusioned, and that's real.
Who cares?
Who cares? True.
Just
True.
be disillusioned to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on. This has been a lot of fun. And do you mind if I give you a hug?
Of course.
Okay.
Let's hug.
Yay!
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
So
thanks.
fun.
This has been great.
Yeah.
Yay. If you enjoyed this podcast, you are going to love the Firecracker Department. It is a podcast that dives into honest conversations with women and non-binary folks in the entertainment industry with my good friend, Naomi Sneakus. Check it out on any podcast platform and on YouTube.
Ooh, ain't it nice to be completely off time?